My name is Lauri Nichols, and I'm from here in Cumberland, Maryland, and I attend the Cumberland Seventh-day Adventist Church. So for several years before I found Jesus, or before my husband and I found Jesus, and he started to really have an impact in our lives, we definitely had not been living for Jesus. We'd been married for 28 years and had drifted apart in a lot of ways. We weren't communicating with each other, and our marriage was failing at that point. I am a teacher at a high school, and Rachel moved to our school from Puerto Rico, and she really struggled with the English language, and getting the academic part of school was really hard for her. And so I said I could stay after with her as many days as she needs after school for an hour to 2 hours and help her with her homework on a daily basis.
Pues cuando yo me mudé aquí en Estados Unidos, pues seguí orando de quiero llevar a Cristo a la iglesia. Pues empecé a estudiar en la escuela de Frankfurt High School. Y ahí encontré a la maestra Miss Nichols. Nos hicimos muy buenas amigas y ella me ayudaba demasiado en las tareas porque pues mi primer idioma es el español y mi inglés todavía es malo, pero ella me ayudaba mucho en los exámenes, yo iba con ella y me ayudaba. Y pues en ese tiempo que sacábamos, nos hicimos muy buenas amigas y ahí empecé como a soltarme y ser yo misma y ella también. Nos empezamos a soltar y empezamos a hablar cosas más personales.
Because we spent so much time together and got to know each other so well, our conversations often drifted from school to some more personal things. And one day she asked me, "What church do you attend?" And I said, "We don't have a church, but we know that we need to find a church." And she said, "Well, you could come to mine."
Entonces, pues ella dijo, está bien. Y después ahí ella sacó una cámara y me preguntó, di algo, ¿por qué debería ir a esa iglesia? Entonces yo le dije que en mi iglesia, en las iglesias adventistas, siempre hablan la verdad. Porque si tú buscas en la Biblia, todo lo que dicen está escrito en la palabra de Dios. No es hablar y hablar y hablar, no, es todo.
So a few days before that conversation with Rachel, my husband had come to me and he jokingly said to me, "If you could sit down with God and ask him one question, what would you ask him?" And I don't remember what I said, but my husband said I would ask him what came first, the chicken or the egg. And it was a tongue-in-cheek question. It wasn't meant to be serious. He was just kind of joking about it, because that's the age-old question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Didn't think much more about that conversation until we pulled into this parking lot that Saturday morning, and on the bulletin board out front, it said, "What came first?" And it was like, oh my word.
We decided to attend this church, and try it out because we wanted to make our marriage work. So when we pulled in and saw that sign that said which came first, and we stopped and we looked at it, I'm like, this isn't a coincidence.
And I said, "Did you come by here coming from work? Maybe subconsciously he had been on this road and seen the sign, and that's what made him ask me?" And he said, "I swear to you, I have not been on this road."
So my husband pastors the Cumberland Seventh-day Adventist Church, and I went to the pastor's meeting, and one of the pastors had preached a sermon, a really good sermon, and Elder Bailey said, "We're going to make this available to all of you." And I was so excited. I was like, yes, I'll make all invitations for inactive members, and we'll invite them, and we'll have this big sermon. This is a great sermon for them, and welcoming, like a homecoming back to the church. Like a week later, my husband comes to us and he said, and it was Wednesday, and he says, "Yeah, I'm preaching the chicken and the egg story." And I'm like, "No, you can't do that yet."
So after reading devotionals and stuff, I'm thinking, man, something's just not impressing me. So finally I heard that little voice that God said, preach the chicken and the egg, you know. And I'm like, but God, my wife said, don't do it. And it was like wife or God, wife or God. This time I said, it's going to be God.
Being new people walking into the church, everybody can relate to this. Everyone, they turn their heads and they're like, oh, look, there's new people, But afterwards, after the sermon and everything, they got up and they were so welcoming and how you doing? And we just felt welcomed, right from the get-go.
We knew that they had never been to our church, so afterwards, we went and greeted them, and I told my husband, I said, I really would like to get some Bible studies with them. They've been coming to church every week.
I think I recall one night we were studying the Great Controversy. We talked about how Satan deceives us. And that was the night that I felt that Lauri especially, something really hit her. She began to tear up and she said, I can't believe all these years I've been deceived. So we just watched her and Joe just grow, little by little. And like I say, when that day of baptism came, it was an incredible time, incredible celebration at the church too.
God is so awesome, and He is everywhere and in everything. And until you experience that, you can't imagine it. Rachel allowed herself to be used by God, and that if all of us would do that, if we would just all allow ourselves to be used by God, He can accomplish great things through us.